What's going on YouTube? OCD for EDC here. And what I've got for your face balls tonight is we're going to do a little surgery on one of my all-time favorite knives. This happens to be the Spyderco Manix2. And I already cut this open. I wasn't thinking about filming this, but since most people don't show the disassembly of a Manix2 because they are kind of a pain in the ass, but I'm going to show you an easy way to change this ball cage. So anyway, this is the Flytanium ball cage. This is the titanium one right here. And they'd make them in a couple different metals. You can get copper and I think brass and black ones and different colors. But I've just got the totally stock Manix2. This here is in S30V and black G10. This is the completely stock standard Manix2, and I really like this knife. The only thing I've done to it, I put a sharpening choil in there, but otherwise the Manix2 is a fantastic knife and one of my all-time favorites for sure. So I personally I like the ball lock a lot better than the compression lock. So for me, the Manix is just a better knife than like a PM2. But you know, to each their own. So anyway, what you're going to need to do this is you're going to need a T8 and a T10 Torx. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. So the important thing to know about the Manix2 is that one side of the pivot is this is a bushing style pivot where you've got a bushing that's captured between the scales and screws go in from either side. But one side is a just a round hole, and the other side has a flat on it that lines up with the flat in the scale, so it's a captured pivot. And it happens to be that if you have your knife in right side tip up carry, which I'm sure most people do, so that's how I've got mine set up right here. So this is how most people are going to want to do this. So start out by taking the pocket clip off, and you'll see why here in a few minutes. Now you don't have to do this, but it just makes it a little bit easier. And you can do it without removing the pocket clip, but so then take all the screws that we're going to take out are on the same side of the knife. So right side, as you're looking at the spine of the knife, you know, as you would hold it in your hand, right side of the knife, though, that's the screws that we're removing. And take out the front backspacer screw, take out the rear one, and then we are going to remove only the front backspacer screw on the left side. We're going to leave the pivot screw in, and we're going to leave the rear one. You can just loosen it just a tiny bit, just to give yourself a little bit of play there. You can already see that backspacer, the spring tension just pushes it up and out of the way. So from this point on, what you want to do is grab just the G10. Because of this lanyard tube back here, these are a press fit, so it holds everything together. So you want to grab just the G10 and bend it up over the ball cage, and then just rotate it out and away. And this is why I say to remove the pocket clip. Again, you can do the liner and the G10 together. It just makes it a little easier to do them one at a time. So that's how I'm going to show you guys how to do it this time. So then you want to do the exact same thing with the liner. And you know, this rides on phosphor bronze. So there's our bronze washer. And so now we've got our liner and our G10 scale pivoted out of the way. And now what you want to do is open the blade of the knife and move it around, let the back spacer come up, and then just pick the knife blade up off. So just like that. And then from there, now you can move your ball cage out of the way and pull it out of the knife. So it's really important. So there you can see the spring on the ball cage, and you can see the ball in there, and you can see the ball from this. Here is the top side uh, facing towards the backspacer, and this here is the bottom side facing down towards the open part of the knife. So that orientation is really important, because it will not work right if you put it in upside down, which you absolutely can. Put this so here's the two different sides. So you got this side here, which this happens to be the bottom. If we're calling the spine of the knife the top, this happens to be the bottom, and this side is the top. So you can see here where you've got that little shelf down there at the bottom that holds the ball bearing in its location. You have the exact same thing on the plastic one, so it's kind of hard to see in there, but anyway, so to reassemble this guy, you're going to drop the ball right down in that hole there. I personally have not tried this out yet, this part, so hopefully I've heard from a handful of people that it is a worthwhile improvement, and it's the one thing that I can honestly say that I wish Spyderco would have made that a metal part and not a plastic part. So then you're going to be in this condition right here. So I've got my spring in the backspacer, and I still have, this is free to move. So I'm going to pull the tension back on the spring. I'm going to let the backspacer go up a little bit, and then I'm going to put the knife back over the pivot just like so. And then you can push down with your finger and align that screw up on the top, so you can put your front screw back in from the other side. So this is a little bit tricky, but it's not terrible. Get her lined up there. There we go. All right. So now we're in this position right here. You can see that the ball cage is in position, and we've got the orientation correct. So you should have the little shelf that keeps the ball in place pointed down towards the open end of the knife, away from the backspacer. So now we'll throw the bronze washer back in, and you want to make sure you put the same side down so your wear pattern stays consistent. And then you'll want to just lift the scale up. So I'm just kind of bending the scale a little bit to lift it up over that ball cage, and it'll drop right down right over that, and then push it down back onto the shoulder on the pivot there. And then same thing with the G10. Lift it up just like that. And then now we can close the knife, and we'll get it in a little bit safer situation here. And then now you can put your screws back in. So I always start with the backspacer screws, just because that spring tension can push those screws out a little bit, the screw holes. So you want to make sure that you don't cross thread your screws putting them back in. Make sure all those are tight. There we go. The blade is perfectly centered. And then we'll put the pivot screw back in here. All right. So I've actually got that just a hair too tight. There we go. Yeah, the traction on this is much better. That's awesome. The plastic one, this one seems like the titanium sticks out just a little bit further. Actually, I don't know where the hell? Hold on just a second. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm going to pull a measurement on this guy really quick. I was looking for my damn calipers. Anyway, let's see what we got here for an overall width. I was thinking that these were going to be identical, but now that I feel it, it feels a little bit wider. So we got 0.564. Let's see here. Well, yeah, it's the same. Huh. Just the traction of it is that much better. That's interesting. It definitely felt slightly wider to me, just feeling it in my hand. But there is definitely no doubt that it provides better traction. So anyway, you can buy these ball cages from Flytanium. I think this one was like, it was like 39 bucks or something like that, 40 bucks, if I remember right. And I've had it for a little while and just haven't put it in yet. I've been busy with other things, but so now just putting the pocket clip back on, and there you go. There is the titanium Flytanium ball cage in the Manix2, and yeah, that's really fantastic, man. The traction on that is just so much better than what the stock one is. Yeah, really, really great. Like I said, I love the Manix, but I'm pretty sure I like it a lot more now, man. That my fingers do not slide on those at all. That is really, really great. So anyway, guys, if you're interested in picking up a ball cage for a Manix2, you can find them at Flytanium. I'll throw a link down in the description. And by the way, I've recently got over 250 subscribers, which I'm super happy about. I never thought that was going to be a thing. I've only been doing this for a few months, so I really appreciate all the support. And I really appreciate all the comments and such. And, you know, for the most part, everyone leaves good, positive comments, which is really great. And yeah, you know, I've got some links down in the description below. And if you guys are interested, you know, a lot of people ask me where I get the TwoSun knives from and whatnot, and you can find a lot of that stuff on Amazon. If you are interested in any of that stuff and you want to help support my channel, using any of the links that I have below does help support my channel, so I greatly appreciate that. And yeah, hit me up in the comments if you got any questions or anything else. And I'm all the time buying, selling, trading knives, so if you see something on the channel and you are interested in it, hit me up. It might be for sale. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot. Have a great night, and we will see you next time.